Hi there, I'm Professor Alex. Thank you for coming to my YouTube video today. I am your personal professor here, trying to help you walk down this path of financial freedom, your debt-free journey, so we can enjoy our lives financially. We don't have to worry about, all these bills that we have floating around there. So thank you. As always, you're welcome to go check out my blog as well, Bankruptcy.blog, where I have all this information as well posted in blog posts and even podcast recordings if it makes life a little easier for you. Now, I've been talking this whole time about bankruptcy and filing for bankruptcy, and interest rates are going down. Now's a great time to refinance and everything else. But in talking about this process of bankruptcy, I haven't really focused on the bankruptcy lawyer now, have I? Talked about how to pay for your bankruptcy lawyer and how not to pay for them. But we also have to analyze some of the issues that we face with bankruptcy lawyers. So that's what this video is about today. Just going to give you some tips, some quick tips to focus on, things that you should consider when hiring a lawyer. Now, this might sound like obvious, but it's not. Do your research. I'm not a big believer so much in reviews. You can use reviews as somewhat of a guide, but some of the reviews are ridiculous. I've had reviews, for example, it was a divorce case where the person bashing me was the spouse on the other side, saying I was the worst. Hold on, because that's funny. I'm the worst lawyer ever, etc. But the person wrote it as they were my client when they were not. It's just that things didn't go well for them in court. I've had reviews from people that I've never met, I've never been hired from, and I've actually gone to blogs of colleagues of mine. I've seen the same thing where they're saying, "Who are you? You've never been represented in his office." It's probably the opposing side. Sometimes, I hate to say it, it's even lawyers bashing other lawyers, pretending to be someone else to make that lawyer look bad. So use reviews, but don't depend on them on 100%. I mean that honestly. The system's not perfect. It's not fair, and too many times people post things there that just it's just 100% a lie. But look at the overall reviews. Take that into consideration. It could be part of a stepping stone to give you a better idea. Now, I put this here because I consider this real important. We are generalists. Let me explain. Could you be board certified in a certain area of law, like family law, criminal law, bankruptcy, stuff like that? Yeah, but honestly, most of us don't do it. The only time you have to be board certified, not the only time, but most of the times, if you're going to be a mediator. Most lawyers are not mediators. I was never a mediator, never interested me in being a mediator. So it's not necessary that I be board certified. It's not going to mean anything to my clients. They could care less. If anything, they're afraid that means they have to pay me more money. So we are generalists. That means tomorrow, if I want to jump into criminal court and I've handled criminal cases, I could. Judge isn't going to say anything. I'm licensed by the bar, right? Can I do a murder trial? Sure. Chances are the judge is going to ask, "You have any experience doing this?" And maybe recommend I go do something else. But legally, there's nothing that prevents me from doing that. I can take a medical malpractice case tomorrow. And actually, a lawyer who's the best medical malpractice lawyer tomorrow can decide to jump into federal court and handle a criminal matter. They can even go into bankruptcy. So we are generalists. Now, there's a little extra step to be a bankruptcy lawyer, but basically everybody gets approved. I wouldn't focus on that. But we are generalists. So make sure that this is not an issue, and I'll tell you why. When they changed the law in 2005, we got hit pretty hard financially. Basically, nobody was filing for bankruptcy. There was all these rumors. We didn't understand the means test a long time ago, but that's the reality. They changed the law, and everyone's scratching their head trying to figure out what the hell this means test and what's with this new bankruptcy law. So I was seeing bankruptcy lawyers at domestic violence hearings, which I was in court for that all the time because it goes, unfortunately goes with the divorce cases. So I had plenty of experience in that. I was bumping into bankruptcy lawyers in criminal cases, and they would pull me over. "Hey, Alex, what goes on in today's hearing? Help me out." They've helped me out in bankruptcy, of course, but it was just funny that you saw them there, and the only reason they were there was they had to make a buck, right? We can't criticize people for trying to have to make a dollar, but that's the reality of our profession. We are generalists. If you're a dentist, you're a general practitioner. If you do braces or oral surgery, that's a different thing. But our profession doesn't really have that. So just make sure, ask your lawyer. how long you've been handling bankruptcy cases. Don't be afraid to ask those questions. If the lawyer doesn't like the questions, then go get another lawyer. That's the reality. You can also look up pacer.gov. Pacer.gov is the federal system where you can look up cases. It's free to a certain extent. If you download, I don't know how many documents, they'll start billing you. But even then, it's really affordable. But I'm going to say it again. Don't depend solely on pacer.gov. Pacer.gov only shows who filed the case. If the lawyer works at a law firm and the lawyer has, they say this lawyer struck out on their own, but they're working in a law firm that had, the main lawyer, not even a partnership, just the main lawyer, but he had two or three associates working for him. You're never going to find any paperwork under that lawyer's name because the main lawyer was the one filing all the pleadings as the owner of that law firm. The associates are not typically going to sign a bankruptcy petition. Maybe it's possible, but realistically, that means creating a separate account and all that. So chances are you could be talking to a lawyer that is highly, highly prepared, can do this in their sleep, forward and backwards with their eyes closed. But when you look them up on pacer.gov, nothing exists. So keep that in mind. It is just one little more step you can take to trying to figure out if this is the lawyer for you. But if it's not all there, find out why. It's a potential they work for a law firm. I also recommend, this is something I don't think people do, is they don't go to the state bar website. The state bar, wherever state you're in, is going to have a section where they show lawyers that have been disciplined. Most states, I want to say, go back as far as 5 to 10 years. Florida does 10 years, and I think most states are in that ballpark. Just look up the lawyer. Make sure they haven't been disbarred. Now, listen to what I'm saying. That also doesn't mean that the lawyer is incapable of handling your case. I have seen lawyers disbarred for the most ridiculous reasons, and then I've seen lawyers that should have been disbarred not get disbarred. So it's one more thing to consider. If you don't feel comfortable, you could always request from the bar, why was this lawyer disbarred? And they'll send you the information. But I'll give you an example. When I was selling my law practice, I had some clown lawyer file a bar complaint against me, saying that it was unethical for me to give out my client information, which is ridiculous. Because you can, once you hire me or once you buy my practice, you get all that information. It's just common sense. This led to a 6 months issue with the Florida bar. They were looking into it. They finally gave a response that was a photocopy, basically, of my response, just saying how ridiculous this whole thing was, that I had every right to do that. Could I have been disbarred for that? Probably not. It's not. It would have been a slap on the wrist, but let's say they could have. That would have been one of those stupid, silly reasons that a lawyer got disbarred. Like I said, I've seen some lawyers like, you got disbarred for what? It's like the silliest thing, and they're like, I know that guy over there. That guy was a disaster. Nothing happened to him. So it happens. It's not, again, it's not a perfect system. It's a good system. It's just not perfect. But it costs you nothing to go to the state website, type up the information, and see what's going on with that lawyer. Now, finally, when it comes to hiring lawyers, I do want to say, um, try to get a referral. All right. Referrals are great. And as lawyers, we love them because that means someone else said, if you want the job done, that's the guy for you or girl. Um, so ask your friends. I mean, if your friends told you once, hey, I did bankruptcy a few years ago, go back. Hey, do you like your lawyer? Your friends are going to be honest. They're going to say he's a good lawyer, but he's a jerk. Never call him. You never going to answer the phone. They'll tell you things like that, things that you're not going to find on a Google search or anything else like that. So talk to your friends, see what they have to say about the lawyer. Now, I do have a couple of issues that I want to discuss also when it comes to the consultation. Believe it or not, and I had to put this here. This really meant something else. But first, I will say there are lawyers who are constantly looking at their watch to see when they can get rid of you. Do we all come across a client that feels the need to go back to second grade and explain everything as to why they're here today filing for bankruptcy or something? Yes, that's normal. Some clients talk too much, some don't talk enough, some are just right. That's okay. It's human nature. It's not a big deal. I know lawyers that talk way too much. I'm probably one of them right now. You're probably saying, chop, chop, let's get to the end of this. But the reality is, I knew one lawyer. I was like, you're in there for an hour talking gibberish and then another hour doing the consultation, and you billed for 1 hour. So just consult with the client, 5 minutes. Hey, I like you, whatever. Get along with me, and let's move on. But that's the way he was. But I actually mentioned clock because I was told by a client that this lawyer It was an immigration attorney, but he would put a clock, facing you, and he'd click it, kind of like in chess, when you see how much time it takes to make a move, and the clock is ticking. He's like, "You got 15 minutes, go." And he was actually charging you for the consultation. I was like, "You didn't hire this guy, did you?" And this person, somewhat well known, and I can't believe that that's the way we're going to start this relationship. But my opinion, it's a two-way street. You talk, I talk. We both talk. If you get a little out of hand, we're going back to second grade and I really don't need to know about second grade, I'm going to cut you off. I say, look, let me ask you a question. Going back to the issue of the car, because again, I know some clients just talk that way naturally. Other clients just get nervous and they start talking more and they say things that they don't even have to say. They're not even relevant. It's okay. I get it. Coming to the office to meet a lawyer is on no one's favorite to-do list. This is the last place you want to go. I'm the last person you want to hang out with or whatever other lawyer. We might be fun, but that setting is not a fun setting. So I get it. But again, if it's a one-way street conversation, then I have an issue with that. The lawyer should allow you to get some things off your chest. I think that's just a given. I don't, we don't want to hear you 45 minutes, but a couple things. Hey, I'm stressed out. I'm doing bankruptcy. I don't know. Is this good for me? Yes or no? Okay, let me ask you some questions. Talk to me about the car. Do you own your car? What's the equity in the car? I think that is normal, and I think that's something lawyers should do. But if it's something that's completely dominated by the lawyer, and I know bankruptcy lawyers like that, they don't tend to be the nicest people. When you call them and you want an answer to your question, you ain't going to get it. They're not going to return your call. And if they do return your call, the lawyer sounds like he's angry at you. And I get that all the time where people are saying, I don't want to talk to my lawyer. It's like he's always angry at me and it makes me feel bad. The signs were probably all there at the consultation. All right. Now, here's the other part that I do want you to focus on: payment plans. Um, we all want to make $2,000 off the next case just like that. That'd be awesome. Maybe in a divorce case, criminal cases, etc., to start, and maybe another payment in 30 days, not bankruptcy. You're at a bankruptcy lawyer for a reason, and that is you're facing financial hardship. So money falling out of the sky. I should probably do a thing now. You'll see it. I'll edit the video for that. Um, but money falling out of the sky, um, yeah, it's not there. Okay, you got to have a payment plan. There's some lawyers that just refuse to budge, and they're like, "No, you got to give me $2,000 down now, and I'll take your case." The answer is walk out the door, go find another bankruptcy lawyer. There's no shortage of bankruptcy lawyers. If you happen to live in a small town and there's a shortage, go to the next town over. Chances are we can do the entire hearing for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy remotely. So, lawyer, normally I would not have gone to Broward to take cases. I would take them now if I was in Miami because I haven't left my house. So, why not? One of the last cases I had in a family court, I had to withdraw and I was already living out of state. But it was a Zoom hearing. I didn't have to go to court just to withdraw. So, keep that in mind. The lawyer should offer a flexible payment plan. Maybe it's not a plan that you like. Maybe you don't want to hear $500 a month for the next 3 to 4 months. That's fine. But come on, man, it's the right thing to do. So lawyers that do that, hey, I'm criticizing y'all now. I said in another video a couple of days ago, I got no problems bashing lawyers. And that's one of them. I think for when it comes to bankruptcy, we should do payment plans because the situation is kind of obvious. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I always close out the videos with this. This is my textbook. I have it here because of paralegals who read my blog. You can always go to Bankruptcy.blog. My blog is not for paralegals only. My blog is describing all these issues that you might face in bankruptcy, but of course, paralegals and the paralegal students that are using my textbook in their courses, whether it's a course or a college or university, whatever. You can always join the family here, right? You can always post comments in the section below. I'll be more than happy to get back to you. And likewise, all of you that are not paralegals, any questions or comments, post them down below. And like and subscribe. I'm getting so good at saying that now. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Follow me on Twitter. But feel free to post any questions or comments, anything that you're not clear about. Feel free to post them there. And of course, visit my blog. My blog has everything obviously in written format. I post these videos in there as well, and have the podcast version. So if you're on the go, you just want to listen to it in your car, etc., you could. But feel free to always reach out to me and just let me know. So that's it for today. I'm out of material. Time to go write a blog. I already had 2 classes for today, so time to focus on the blogs. But I'll catch you guys at the next video. In the meantime, be safe, be happy, be positive, and continue towards that path of financial freedom. Take care, everybody.